Togo management of COVID funds, vain attempts to drown the Court of Auditors report. In an explosive audit report, the Court of Accounts, the institution in charge of certifying the state's accounts, for a rare time, released an audit report on the disastrous management of funds meant to fight the COVID pandemic. The 86-page Court of Audit Report makes disturbing revelations that outrage the Togolese as a whole. Irregularities in its audit report, the Court of Audit makes the following findings at the level of contracting institutions. After a lot of hard work, the Court of Auditors has found abnormalities, irregularities in the procedures for the awarding of public contracts. These irregularities and anomalies amount to a total sum of CFA 39.357, 949.757. The Court of Auditors records these irregularities as follows: purchases without a letter of order. In a ministry, only one person signs the order on behalf of 2 or 3 people. Suppliers without an economic operator card. Expenses without justification. Purchases without order shipments without receipt record. Uncertified invoices. Gratuities paid without legal basis. Markets passed without technical product description, novice transfers to unqualified persons and non-reversal of transfers in the state coffers, etc. The Court of Auditors recalls that the 39,357,947,957 CFAs represent only a tiny part of the 183,494,620,82 allocated for the year 2020. As nearly 400 billion has been allocated for several years to fight COVID, we measure the damage. Not to offend anyone, the Court of Auditors does not speak anywhere about corruption, counterfeit and use of counterfeit, but claims to have met limits in this mission. This is the inaction or late reaction of some stakeholders involved in the management of the funds. Production of the requested information, including the Ministry of Digital Economy and heads of mobile phone companies Move Africa and TOGO and others. The other most significant limit is the difficulty in checking some important expenses items, including consumable material, protective masks, medicines, gels, assets, state acquired, lack of material accounting. Looking at all this, is Togo walking on its head? Without material accounting, how does the state apparatus function? On what behalf can state services stand up to the Court of Auditors, and what are the sanctions? Vainless attempts to drown the Court of Audit report for the first time. The Court of Auditors has made the country talk good, as MP Abbas Kaboua pointed out. Had the court worked this way since its establishment, our country would have made a big step in the fight against corruption. It's never too late to do right. But, wondering which fly stung our Court of Accounts, which works in discretion and its reports are known only to the learned, even if the Togolese government tries to make us believe that the demand is from them. But depending on indiscretions, it would be pressure from donors at the rank of which you can cite the African Development Bank, the Agency Française Developmental, the World Bank, the BCEAO, the IMF, the UEMOA, etc. One thing is for sure, the Court of Audit report on the management of COVID response funds has shaken the whole country. On social media and in conversations, this is all we talk about, and both to wonder what foray will do. But something is doubtful. As in the case of Petrolgate, the Togolese would risk finding themselves Hagers. Indeed, among the many reactions is this government statement that attempts to mitigate the scope of the audit report. Here we won't say the report is not reliable. Let's recall in March 2021 the report of the Inspector General of Finance, IFG, on the Public Oil Commission, where Minister Christian Trimua, government spokesman, said, "This report of the IFG, which is branded as evidence of diversion, is not reliable." But in the case of the audit of the Court of Auditors, despite the waves of apprehension of the Togolese people, the government was content with the simple opinion of the court written on page 61 of the report to rejoice that the report considers that the expenditure is relative or compliant, regular and sincere with countermeasures or sanitary barriers. Ridiculous, isn't it? We think we're dreaming, and we try to convince the Togolese that they are reading the report wrongly. But no matter what, the Court of Audit report has achieved its purpose, exposing the malversion in effect in the country. This ain't nothing. The Togo Express.